Alright guys, welcome to another beer review. Beer's already open, take two. So we're going over to New York today and we're having a look at the Essence of Terra, which is a triple IPA brewed with Citra, Simcoe and Ekuanot. And the brewery is Drowned Lands. Great name for a brewery and absolutely gorgeous artwork. Lovely colour scheme as well. Picked this up from Northern Monk Bar in Manchester. Picked up a few cans of Northern Monk stuff as well. I've not really been buying too much beer as of late, but I was in Manchester anyway doing a bit of clothes shopping and, you know, been drinking the night before, feeling a little bit rough. Best medicine is to have another couple of drinks, and this with the other beers that I picked up, plus the half because I got them all at the same time. It's actually really well priced, especially for some American beer. So yeah, beer in the glass then. The head has subsided, but it was right up to the rim. And yeah, obviously hazy, as we've come to expect with IPAs. And but one thing I will say, it's not bright, luminous yellow or anything like that. Still got those sort of like West Coast-esque, amberish, pale amber gold hues to it. As said, initially poured with 2 fingers worth of white foamy head. Luckily I've not tasted it yet, so we'll see what we get on the nose. There's definitely a soft, sweet fruitiness. Maybe there's almost like a sort of like grape musk element to it, but very, very subtle. I mean, it's not like a boozy or ethanol sort of aroma, but you are getting a little bit of that ABV on the nose. It's got that sort of like staunchness to it. I'm trying to pick out any sort of like specific fruity floral notes. It's definitely got a lot of floral qualities. Maybe a bit of like lemon creeping through. But yeah, it's definitely got that triple IPA sweetness to it. And yeah, it's not really screaming out the can or the glass, but what is there smells quite nice. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, folks. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. How would I describe that flavour? I'm getting more like a peach coming through. A little bit of nectarine. There's a little bit of a twang of passion fruit also. And I mentioned that sort of like drying grape musk sort of character. You're getting that slightly on the flavour, but obviously because there's not even an ounce of New Zealand hops in there. But you are getting that sort of element, but it's very, very subtle. A little bit dry on the finish. There's a subtle hint of sweetness. It's definitely more evident in its ABV compared to other triple IPAs. But again, I do find when they're big, soft, fruity juice bombs, those hops really do mask ABV. Because there is a little bit of warming as I'm talking now. It's not like warming going down. It's not like a warmth in your gullet or the pit of your stomach. But it sort of like creeps up on the breath, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it got like I'd say, even though I'm not a big fan of peaches, and I don't know in what circumstances I would ever eat this, but it sort of reminds me of what a peach marmalade would taste like. It's not blowing my socks off. It's not terribly exciting, but it's got a nice, soft, bold mouthfeel. And even though you are getting that ABV, there's no harshness to it. It's just letting you know that it's got a little bit of oomph to it. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? It's just not blowing me away at all, but it's far from a boring or badly brewed beer. But then again, you know, it's such an oversaturated market, isn't it? But if you like your grape flavours, like a sweet grape, that's the biggest thing aside from that peach note that I'm getting from it. Peaches and apricots, that sort of thing. Two fruits that I'm really not a fan of. Well, as you can clearly tell, I'm not a fan of many fruits, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. I don't think they had anything else in the fridge from this brewery. Although that being said, there were like some like pastry sours and things like that, which I'm a little bit bored of. Because, you know, if I wanted a fruit smoothie, I'd make a fruit smoothie. Do you know what I mean? Not to say that they're, you know, all of them taste like that. Some are really, really good. But there is something a little bit different about it. Definitely got a little bit of a maltiness you would expect from a West Coast style. But it doesn't dive into that West Coast. It's not resiny, it's not piney. It's not a palate wrecker. But then again, I can't remember the last time I had, you know, a really good example or interpretation of a, you know, an old school West Coast IPA. But what we have here, maybe that modesty of it works in its favour. And it's definitely one that you could probably get carried away with and drink a bit too quickly. But if you're looking for like a flavour sensation, there's probably many other IPAs out there that would, you know, scratch that itch. But as I said, not taking anything away from the brewery, it's just when you make comments like that, you do have to take into consideration just how many breweries are brewing like 4 or 5 different pales, IPAs, double IPAs, triple IPAs on an almost weekly basis. Some of the like release schedules that you see nowadays are just absolutely mental. You know, it was back in the day, not that long ago, where you could sort of like keep up with a specific brewery's output. But they're just brewing so many beers nowadays on such a regular rotational basis where, like as I said, that same brewery, you know, you've got like, you just can't buy every beer unless you've got shitloads of money and you really do embrace your alcoholism. But yeah, so I think when you try something new from a brewery that you've never had before, or try a beer from a brewery that you've never had before, because you've built up such a big sort of like point of reference or reference, sort of like a reference guide, and you know, because whether you review them or you just really enjoy craft beer, you know, you're building up a really in-depth database. So, you know, you fall into those traps of, oh, well, if I wanted a beer like this, I'd try this beer from this brewery. Do you know what I mean? So it does, sometimes it comes across like you're saying that you're not liking the beer when you really are. But because you've tried so many that are very similar, you know, it's very easy for even your favourite brewery to release beer that sort of like just steps back into the crowd. But, you know, they can't all be, you know, bang, 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 bang. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 sort of beers. Sometimes, you know, brewers, I'd imagine, they've got like a surplus of hops that they need to use. So they'll base their sort of like recipes around that to utilise those hops. But yeah, what am I talking about? I don't know. But I like it. I like it a lot. There's a little bit of bitterness on the back end, which is always welcome in IPAs nowadays, because, you know, most of them it's just like no bitterness at all. You've just got big fruity sweetness. But again, nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, if you've tried this from Essence, from Drowned Lands, love that name. Slow down, stay a while. And Essence of Terra. Then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Let me know if any recommendations from this brewery or some of your other favourite American breweries, New York-based breweries. That's the beautiful thing about the industry in the UK, and I'd imagine a lot of countries are like this as well. You know, even though you've got a really great, and I'd say the UK brewing scene is up there with the best, even though you've got a really great domestic and a lot of times stupidly local options, it's great to know that, you know, breweries, beers from America, Asia, all around Europe are making their way on British shores. Don't want to mention anything like that because it kind of sounds like something Nigel Farage would say, although he'd probably be stood on Dover pointing at them and telling them to go away. But yeah, it's just great. You can, if you feel like getting an American beer or making, do you know what, I want to see what's big in America right now. Plenty of websites. A lot of times your local bottle shop will have some American beers that they never would have had just a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's just, I mean, some people are saying, have we plateaued? But yeah, even like supermarkets are knocking out some fantastic beers as well. So we're very, very privileged. But ooh, looks a little bit more East Coast with it all in. Look at that. Look how chunky that has become. The more you're drinking it, the less and less it's feeling like a 9%, 9.2% ABV beer. Very nice. I'm liking this. I do very much like it. And I hope it hasn't come across that I'm just trying to nitpick but not overly defend the beer, if that makes any sense. So yeah, go check out Drowned Land down below. And yeah, if you're in Manchester, I mean, you've got plenty of options, but go check out Northern Monk's Bar, because chances are they'll have some great Northern Monk beers in the fridge, as well as guest beers, especially if they're doing like tap takeovers throughout the year. And also, I had a cheeky glimpse at the cellar list, and I could have easily bought myself a few big bottles of Imperial Stout for actually some really good prices. So, you know, plenty of options. Plus, I think they've got Kongs as their food providers at the moment. Not had any of that food, but it looks really good. And yeah, anyway, just go to Manchester. It's a great city, and you're going to get some great session ales. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been an overly long video, as per usual, but I appreciate you stopping by. Anyway, cheers for watching. You'll take care, stay safe, and this is the thing now. Bye-bye.